From Cold War ambitions to modern-day global posturing, the Ilyushin Il-96-300PU has evolved into a flying fortress loaded with military-grade tech, luxury fit for a czar, and enough secrecy to keep anyone guessing. Putin's presidential jet is unlike anything you've ever seen. This isn't just about flying in style. It's about projecting power from 35,000 feet. Whether it's intimidating rivals or dazzling allies, this jet tells a story, and it starts the moment its wheels leave the tarmac. Buckle up, because we're in for a ride. The Ilyushin Il-96-300PU Flying Fortress. When it comes to developing high-tech machinery that's both performance-driven and a sight for sore eyes, no one quite does it like the Russians. Vladimir Putin demands only the best of the very best for his travels, and your everyday private jet wasn't about to cut it. Introducing the Ilyushin Il-96-300PU, aka the Fortress in the Skies. Civil aviation projects in the former Soviet Union have been ambitious, to say the least. The Ilyushin Il-96-300PU is considered the presidential version of the original Il-96 range that was first developed in the 1980s. Back then, during the Cold War, Soviet engineers were put to work coming up with an adequate replacement for the outdated Il-86 series. It incorporated advanced avionics for its time, improved fuel efficiency, and a glass cockpit, making it one of the most ambitious civil aviation projects in late Soviet history. The first installment in the Il-96 series took flight in 1988, but didn't see its heyday until much later. With the fall of the Soviet Union in 1991, the Il-96 series was shelved for some time until interest rejuvenated within the government to modernize the flight series and develop the Ilyushin Il-96-300PU. PU, by the way, is a Russian term that translates to command point, meaning the latest installment would only ever be used by high-ranking government officials. Simply, an aircraft fit for Putin himself. The first Il-96-300PU entered service in the early 2000s, replacing older Soviet models like the Ilyushin Il-62 used by previous leaders. Under President Putin, the aircraft became a flying symbol of Russian prestige and power. Its interior was custom designed with luxurious features reflecting imperial Russian aesthetics, while the aircraft itself was outfitted with cutting-edge encrypted communication systems, missile defense countermeasures, and in-flight command capabilities. These features turned the Il-96-300PU into more than just a presidential jet. It became a mobile war room, capable of managing Russia's nuclear forces in the event of a crisis. Meeting US President Trump in the Ilyushin Il-96-300PU. It probably goes without saying, but Putin doesn't need the flying fortress to travel. Yes, it serves as a vehicle, but it can easily be replaced by just any other private plane. He can easily replace the Ilyushin Il-96-300PU with an aircraft that mimics what any other world leader travels in. But that'd be defeating the purpose of the Il-96 series in the first place. You see, Putin doesn't just keep the Ilyushin Il-96-300PU for show. It's been used extensively, and the last time it made headlines was in 2018 when the Russian leader arrived at a World Leaders Summit in Helsinki, Finland, on board the Flying Fortress. Russia was in the hot seat even back then, especially back then, with rising tensions with the West, the tensions in Crimea, and the power play between him and US President Donald Trump. Arriving in the Ilyushin Il-96-300PU was a strategic move. It was to showcase how Russia wasn't making empty threats and promises when it told Western leaders to back off when it came to discussing Russian policies or imposing sanctions on the nation. The aircraft touched down at Helsinki-Vantaa Airport with its usual secrecy and tight security. Multiple identical Il-96 were prepped in advance, and flight tracking data was deliberately obscured to prevent any real-time monitoring. Russia demanded everyone's attention. Reactions to the Ilyushin Il-96-300PU, a bag of mixed emotions. Some admire it, some loathe it, but everyone is amazed by it. The Ilyushin Il-96-300PU is fitted with advanced communication systems that allow Putin to command military operations from the sky. It can stay connected to nuclear forces and Russia's strategic command even during a war, functioning like a doomsday plane. It reportedly carries electronic countermeasures that can jam or mislead enemy enemy radar and missiles. Some sources claim it's equipped with infrared jammers to divert heat-seeking missiles, similar to what you'd find on military aircraft. It also never travels by itself. Several versions of the plane have been created, all of them identical to the one the president travels in. Flight plans include a series of Ilyushin Il-96-300PU planes that travel as a fleet. This is to avoid any assassination attempts on the president. If you go for one of them, you'll have to go against all of them. Let's just say that the odds will not be in your favor there. While some people believe that the Ilyushin Il-96-300PU might be an obnoxious display of wealth and power, even going as far as suggesting that it's gimmicky at best, the reaction truly depends on who's looking. For Russians, especially those who admire Putin, the Ilyushin Il-96-300PU represents what Russia is capable of. Yes, Putin could travel in something a lot less flashy, but that's not what Russia wants to be known for. Besides who's traveling inside of the plane, everyone can agree that the Ilyushin Il-96-300PU is a marvel when it comes to flying technologies altogether. Its military-grade interceptors, radars, and communication systems are top of the line and demand praise. The opulent interior is a nod to Russian heritage and is worth being admired too. Altogether, you may or may not have a negative reaction toward the Ilyushin Il-96-300PU depending on how you view Putin. But outside of it, you can't help but agree it's a magnificent flying fortress. Honorable mention, Air Force One. Ilyushin Il-96-300PU can be a mouthful, and you're probably more familiar with another world-renowned private plane, Air Force One. Did you know that Air Force One, while famously associated with the US president's private plane, is technically a call sign for any plane that's carrying the president? Today, however, we mostly associate it with the pair of customized Boeing VC-25A aircraft based on the Boeing 747-200B airframe. These planes have served as the primary presidential aircraft since 1990, under President George H.W. Bush. The plane is painted in a distinctive blue and white livery, chosen by President Kennedy and First Lady Jacqueline Kennedy. Air Force One might not be as showy as the Ilyushin Il-96-300PU, but it's nothing short of a marvel in its own right. The aircraft was designed as a flying command center to keep the president connected to the world during both peacetime and crisis. It features secure, encrypted communications, radar jamming systems, and countermeasures against missile attacks, allowing the president to govern from the sky if necessary. It has the ability to refuel mid-air, giving it virtually unlimited range, a critical capability in times of emergency or conflict. The inside blends comfort with functionality. There's a private office, conference room, medical suite, and a personal bedroom. There are also accommodations for senior staff, Secret Service, press, and military personnel. Everyone who needs to be on Air Force One has more than enough room on it, and then some. Between Putin's Ilyushin Il-96-300PU and Trump's Air Force One, which private plane would you be more interested in soaring the skies in? Let us know in the comments. And for more insights into the lives of the rich and famous, make sure to check out our channel.